Today we are going to understand or learn how to use general ledger module in ADDA. This is a very important module because this is where you set up your chart of accounts. What do I mean chart of accounts? The creation of asset GL, creation of liability GL, creation of your income GLs, creation of your expense GLs, and creation of a groups. So that is why this module is very important. Before you getting into any other financial modules, this is the module that you will have to set it up properly. So let me show you, let me take you to the ADDA General Ledger module and the functionality of it. Let me share my screen. Hope you are able to see the ADDA admin dashboard. As soon as you log into the ADDA admin dashboard, this is the page that shows up to you. And on your left-hand panel, you can see, modules, and the last second module is the general ledger. At the right end of the general ledger, you can see a small drop down. Click on it. There are a couple of sub-modules, it gets popped up. The general ledger module has a couple of sub-modules, which are chart of account, journal entry, query, trial balance, financial statement, reports. Let's understand one by one. Let's click on chart of accounts. As soon as you click on chart of accounts, you can see that you have, assets, liability, income, expense, and the groups. First and foremost thing that you need to do on this page is that creation of the groups. So create all the groups that you want to create under assets, under liability, under income, under expenses. Once the groups are set up is done, then go to the assets where you can create asset GLs and tag it to the groups that you have created for asset. Okay. Now, for example, you want to, under saving bank, you want to bring in petty, you want to bring in, let's assume you want to bring in HDFC Bank, type HDFC Bank. Again, you have one more bank, Corporation Bank. And then you want to create petty cash, right? So the bank and petty cash here, you need to create under setup bank and petty cash details. So create the groups over here. Ensure the GL account number should be unique. If the GL number is unique, it will go through. Otherwise, it will pop up an error saying that the GL number is already exists. Then you can, make it unique and create it, right? And the second section that we have is asset accounts. So other than the bank and cash, all other asset GLs you can create under assets accounts, right? So the second feature that we have is that deactivate. Let's assume you have certain, GLs here, system GLs, and which you don't want, and you want to deactivate it. You can deactivate it. Click on deactivate and click on OK. As soon as you deactivate, the deactivated GLs will show up here. If there are no entries present under that GL, then you will have an option to delete it. If there are entries under the GL that you have deactivated, you will not have an option to delete it. So that simple it is. The other functionality that we have here is that upload assets. So before uploading assets, if you want to do, let's assume you have too many asset GLs and doing one by one takes too much of time and you want to do an Excel upload, then you can do upload asset. Before that, ensure your groups are created. So once the groups are created, and then go to upload asset. Click on it. As soon as you click on this, a green color window will appear and it will give you steps. You need to follow the step 1, step 2, step 2, step 3. Then your asset upload will happen successfully. Now, step 1, what it says, there is a template that you need to download. You have to click here, and as soon as you click here, there is a template that gets open. So this is the template. When you open it, this is the template that you will be downloading it. Ensure whatever this template asks you to update, only that details you need to update. You should not insert any column in between. So do not add any column in between, or create your own headers. You should not be touching the headers of it. You just have to update the information. Group GL number. So these group GL numbers, you will find it in the step 2. So that is why I told you need to create the group GL first before downloading the template. So create the group GLs, then you can download the template, update the GL grouping numbers. For example, under saving bank, you want to create HDFC Bank, Corporation Bank, SBI Bank. Under cash in hand, you want to create petty cash. Then you just have to do what is that? You just have to copy this group number, grow here and paste. And then under that, you want to create HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank. And the GL number, if you want to start with 1001 or you want to start with 001, your wish. You can start the number however you wish, but ensure you're starting with a unique number. That's all it is. So create all the, add all the group GL numbers from this page, step 2, and then all the GL account numbers and the ledger names. Once this is done, save this document in a CSV format. So that's what you can see in the step 3. Upload the filled Excel template in the CSV format. So save this file in CSV format and then upload. It will go through. If it is not in a CSV format or any error, it will pop up an error saying that so-and-so error is coming up. Once you, correct the error, it will go through it. Hope you're clear with this. Now let's go to the second tab of it, liabilities. Same method you're going to follow. There is no change in the method that I've explained for assets. Follow the same method for liabilities. Follow the same method for income, expenses. Once this chart of account setup is done, then you can use all other modules. For example, income tracker module, where you want to create an invoice for penalty, right? If that penalty head needs to show up in the income tracker, then that penalty GL should be present in the general ledger chart of accounts income. Okay. If you're not finding, for example, let's assume I'll show you an example. Now you're going to an income tracker member income page, and then you want to create an invoice. When you click on an invoice, to account, this is the list that is coming from chart of accounts page under general ledger income. These are the GLs that shows up when you're creating an income. The to account will show all the GL from the chart of accounts under income. Whatever GLs you have created, that will show up here. Similarly, if you go to your expense tracker and then by vendor and you want to create an invoice, go here, and then to account here also you have, for example, expense head, what do you see here? These are the expense accounts these are coming from the general ledger chart of accounts, under expense category. If you are not seeing any, if there's a new expense that you want to, create an invoice for an expenses which is not present here, then you will have to go to general ledger chart of accounts under expenses, and you need to create a new head here. Once you create here, when you're trying to book an expenses for that expense will show up here. Hope you're clear. So that is why the chart of account creation is very, very important. Ensure the chart of account setup is properly done. Okay. Hope you're clear with the chart of account setup. Now let's go to the journal entries, the second submodule of general ledger. So general ledger journal entries, under general ledger journal entries are used not so frequently, right? This is used for a very rare purpose, because if you want to book an income, you will go to income tracker and you will book an income. If you want to book an expense, you will go to expense tracker and you will book an expenses, right? Other than this, if any entries are there that you are not able to do it in these income tracker and expense tracker, then those entries you can pass journal entry. What are those entries, right? For example, asset depreciation, right? You want to pass an entry for asset depreciation, you can use a journal entry. Adjustment entries, right? You want to pass an adjustment entry between expense GL to income GL, or between expense GLs. For example, from housekeeping expenses, I want to move the housekeeping expenses to landscaping expenses. Then you can pass the journal entry, right? And fixed assets, you have purchased a fixed assets. For that, you can pass the journal entry because that is not an expenses. You can come over here, you can pass the journal entries. So whatever entries you are unable to pass using the income tracker and the expense tracker module, those entries you can use journal entries to record it. Hope I'm clear, right? Now, what is old journal entry? Whatever entries you have passed, via journal entries will show up here, right? You can see all those journal entries, you can delete, right? And you can edit only the comment. You cannot edit the values. Only the comment can be edited, not the amount or the date. So if you want to change the amount and date, you will have to delete and repost it. Whatever you delete, that gets captured or recorded under voided journal entry. The next option that we have is bulk posting. In case if you want to upload journal entries using bulk posting method, there are a lot of journal entries you have and you don't want to do one by one. It's a very rare case. So it happens only during the migration. You want to migrate all the closing balances to ADDA from a different system. Only then the bulk upload template will be useful. Otherwise, do not try to use bulk upload. Use create journal entry and pass one by one. It will not be too much, right? So under bulk posting, we have batch upload opening balances, right? As I told you, migration. When you are doing a migration, you want to set up an opening balance of all the GLs, then you can use bulk uploading. Follow this again, as I explained you, very clear, remarks will be there when you click on bulk upload. It'll give you step one, what you need to do, step two, what you need to do, and step three, what you need to do. Just follow that, fill in the data and upload it. When you're uploading it, ensure the file is in a CSV format, right? The second feature that we have under bulk posting is batch upload journal entries. As I told you, if you want to do a lot of adjustment entries and too much of adjustment entries you have and you don't want to do one by one, you want to do an Excel upload, you can use journal entries. Same step one, step two, step three. Read the remarks and then do the fill in the template and upload it. It will go through. But this is very rare case. Usually it will not happen unless you are migrating it. These two templates will not be useful. You can use create journal entry for as and when if you want to do a adjustment entry, use create journal entry, pass the journal entries. The fourth feature that we have under journal entry is bulk corrections. So these bulk corrections, what you see in old journal entries is that when you fetch the old journal entries, you can delete one by one. You cannot delete all the journal entries. But in the bulk corrections, if you have done, for example, bulk posting, while doing a bulk posting journal entry, you may made a mistake. There are hundreds of entries, and one by one deleting will be a tedious task. In that case, you can go to bulk correction, fetch the transactions, and you have a checkbox, right? And it'll throw you a checkbox. Just click those checks, select all the checkboxes. For example, you are at the bottom, you have select all, and then delete it, selected J's. You can select all the boxes and then delete all in one shot. For that purpose, bulk correction is given. Hope you're clear. The functionality that we have under journal entries. Now let's go to query. The query is useful if you want to query by ledgers, right? Or group ledgers or ledgers. By account group, you have assets, liability, income, expenses, and there's a plus to it. Click on it. It'll open up all the GLs available under assets. And you want to fetch petty cash. You want to pull down the reports of receivable members from past April 2022 to till date and fetch document. So as soon as you click on it, it'll fetch you all the details of that ledger in a tabular report. You can see under these receivable members, what are the debits and credits have taken place from so and so period, right? And at the top, you can have at the top left hand side, you can have PDF, copy, Excel, CSV. You can export it to any format that you wish, right? So like this, if you want to see query by the ledgers or groups under which group it has, and for a specific ledger I want to query and see what has happened, you can come to by account group and select whichever ledgers you want to query. So you can do that in this place. So under income, if you see income members, under that also you have sub ledgers. It will open up group, subgroup, and the ledger wise. Whichever ledger you want to query, you can come away and do it. Second feature that we have under query is by user. Very, very important feature. Why this is very, very important feature? One is you can fetch only voided transaction. Whatever so far voided transactions you have done in the system for a period, specific period, you can put the entry date or posted date, fetch all voided transactions. We have given all users, this is very, very important. If you want to find out, there are certain transactions or you want to find out a transaction posted by the user. you have 4 5 people who are using a module and who are working on the accounting module, and you want to understand how these, for example, Sunil, I want to understand this person, how many entries have been posted by this person. You can choose the user, put the date and fetch, so it will show you entries posted by Sunil, right? So similarly, you want to find out the entries posted by Viresh. You can choose the name and put the date, start date, end date, and fetch. It will show the entry posted only by Viresh. This will be a very very helpful functionality if you have 3 4 accountants, or you have these modulars, given to across the people, and you want to find out who does those entries. You can come over here under query by user, fetch by the user, posted by whom, and you can fetch by the user transactions. Hope you're clear with the query. So trial balance is just TB trial balance, which will help you understand overall TB trial balance from assets, liability, income, and expenses. This will give you an idea under assets what you have, and then you can drill down detailed trial balance. Each and every ledger, when you click on it, it pops up in a report format, tabular report format. You can convert it to PDF, copy, Excel, CSV, and you can see all the information. So every ledger is having a hyperlink, and which will give you a tabular report. If you want to download it, you can download. At the bottom, you also have a feature to export to Excel only income and expenses, export all transactions in Excel or HTML, however you wanted, you can do it. At the top, you have functionality, like for example, you want to fetch only complete trial balance from April to till date, or you want to fetch only for a particular month. I want to fetch the detail for the month of May. You can choose period trial balance and fetch. And you want to see the opening balance, the migration balance, opening balances of all the GLs. Then you choose only migration balances. And then, click on it. It'll give you an idea what is this, opening, migration balance. This will give you an idea. Then you have suppress return and mix. If once the book is closed, you will not be able to see these income expenses. Once the book is closed, your income and expense gets closed, the final figure, the profit and loss account or expense over income, will move to your balance sheet item. But however, after closing the books of account, if you want to still see the income and expenses, then choose this suppress return and generate trial balance. It will show you both. Even though the income and expense accounts are closed, you will still be able to see the detailed information of income and expenses by using this filter. Hope this you got a clear understanding of trial balance. There is one feature called perform year end that I'll come to the I'll explain you what exactly it is. Before we click on the perform year end, I would like to explain you the journal entry. When you go to journal entry, bulk posting, this feature I did not explain you intentionally, because I want to explain you when I was explaining you when I explained the trial balance feature. Bulk posting may you have an option called automatically pass rate analytics, right? So this is the feature where you can choose for a particular year, your audit is over, completed, and you want to freeze your income and expenses. You want to close your income expenses. Then this is the place you need to come, fetch 2021, see if there are any transaction. If there are no transaction, that means your income expense is closed. You've performed your closed your income expense GLs. If any entries are present, then those figures will show up here like this. For example, 2022-23, if you have not closed the income and expense account, it will show all your incomes and the values, expense and the values, and finally what is your expense over income or income over expenses, and show this figure matches with your audited figures. Once this is matching, then you can see your pass entries into retained earnings entries for accounts closure. By clicking on this, all your figures, whatever entries you see here, these numbers will get nullified. The excess income over expenses will move to balance sheet. Okay. So this is the first step that you would be doing after your account is finalized in the ADDA system. The second step that you're going to do is that performing your year end. That is what you're seeing here under trial balance. Under trial balance, you perform year end. This feature also here also you can see automatically pass return entries. You can either go to journal entry bulk posting and use automatically pass returning and close your income and expenses. Otherwise, under perform year, you have automatically pass returning on the top right hand. You can click this same page, it will show up. Go here, choose the year and click on choose year end. It will show all the income and expense numbers. Find, check, verify these numbers with your audited income and expense sheet and click on pass review. Once that is done, go to perform year end again. Click on, all, you're verified, you're completed all entries, completed. These are the checklists that we have before you close the financial year. Go through each and every checklist, ensure everything is properly done, and then click on done, 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 all done, and then save change. Once you click on all done, for example, I'll show you. Once you click on all done, done, save changes, it will show you freeze the books for 2023. Once you click, it will freeze the books. So this is where your book closure ends. So ensure this, you do it properly. Follow the checklist, ensure everything is done, and then click on freeze books for the year, so and so year. Hope you're clear with that. Now, the next functionality that we have under general ledger is that financial statement. So these are the balance sheet and the income and expense statement. So you click by period or by date, whichever way you want to do it, you do it. By period you fetch. And if you want to suppress, as I told you, if you have closed the books of account and you still want to see the income and expenses, this will be useful. Otherwise, you click on choose the year by period and generate. So this will generate the financial statement. Once everything is done, this financial statement can be downloaded in a PDF, and then you can get it signed by the auditor and the management committee member, and you can file it. So very, very easily understandable financial statement available over here. The balance sheet and then the income and expense account. Finally, we have reports. So these reports are tailored made for auditing. If you are approaching audit period and then your auditor needs he's going to needs these receivable report, payable report, your closing balance report, your advance vendor report, credit notes report, all the sub schedules, right? All the supporting documents for the financial statement are available here. So if you're an accountant and you need to be sure that you have everything available for the auditor, then ensure that these reports are properly maintained, ensure all the accounting entries are properly accounted. Then these reports are a clickable reports, one click reports, which you can download, keep it for your auditing. Or if you want to ensure that your auditor is going to perform auditing, then you can give the general ledger module access to your auditor. You can just go to all these reports, verify the data, and complete the audit. So believe me, if your accounting is properly maintained on the ADDA system, these reports will help the audit finish the audit at a very, very mature, at a very, very how do I say, within 15 to 30 days, or within a month or two, the audit can be finalized, because all these reports are very, very helpful for auditing. Okay. Hope you understood, and these reports are very easily understandable. You can just click on it and see, explore it, and you will get it what exactly these reports are. Hope this session help you understand the functionality of general ledger module and the importance of it. Thank you so much for your time. We will see you in the next session. Thank you all.